Okay, ladies, today is a continuation from last week's episode where I was talking about women and money, women and business, women and success, women in power, women and wealth creation. And today I want to share some of my thoughts and what I've observed in my years of doing this work and my thoughts and feelings and opinions and maybe some advice, or maybe there'll be some really helpful piece that you hear in here for your own consideration. I want to talk about men who are attracted to those women, men who are threatened by those kinds of women, and how to call in a relationship if you are a woman who is in her power and is really successful and is building something of her own or working for a corporation and wildly successful. I think that there is a philosophy and a belief, or maybe it's just a really big fear. A lot of women end up asking me this question, whether it's my current clients, previous clients, or women from around the world coming into my DMs. It's also one of the most asked questions when I do Instagram stories and I say, ask me anything. Women ask me, how does your partner handle your strong opinions, your big voice, your international presence, your power in general, your success in general? And I will get to that in just a few moments. But they also, I can tell the bigger question underneath that is, how do I call in that kind of a relationship? Because a lot of women are in the belief that they cannot have both. And women have told me specifically, if I really step into my power, my partner will leave, or my partner would be threatened by me being more successful than him, or I've been trying to look for new jobs and my partner is getting really upset. He doesn't want me to. So let's touch first on the kind of partners that you will not attract and the kinds of partners that will be threatened by any success that you may have. Those are typically men who are still under the belief system of like a 1950s mentality, where they want to be served. They want to be having someone at their beck and call for their needs more often than not, whether it is, their basic needs for food, for all of their meals, for someone to do the shopping, the cooking, the laundry, the sex, the organization, the householding, the house cleaning, the running of errands, the child care, the social activities, and planning for their social life. And maybe planning any vacations as well. So I often see that women who are currently in relationships with men who tell them outright, I don't want you to get a job. I don't want you working insane hours where we can barely see each other. What often lives underneath that message is what he's really saying is, I don't want you to have your own control. I don't want you to have your own money, because then it may mean that what you get from me will not be enough. I want us to really hear underneath a man controlling a woman and her desires, her destiny, her inner calling to follow out her soul's desire. If a man is not standing beside a woman saying, tell me more. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. How can I support you? How can we make this happen? This is so incredible. If a man is not saying those things and is saying things like, I don't want you working. When we got together, the understanding, this unspoken contract we had, was that I would work and you would stay home. What he's really saying, if he has no curiosity, if he brings zero interest or curiosity to the conversation, your passion, your dreams, what he's saying is, you only exist to serve my needs. You only exist to make my life very comfortable. You only exist so that when I'm not working, I don't have to do all of the things that you do in the home or for the family or for my personal life. So what he's actually saying is, I need you to remain as my personal servant, as my personal chef, as my personal appointment maker, as my everything. And if you start working, then who's going to take care of me? And again, what I hear even deeper than any of that is, and if you create your own money, if you get joy from somewhere else, You may look here in this relationship and realize how little I actually bring to the table. So oftentimes for men, them bringing some money into the relationship and the woman having no money of her own creation, she feels stuck. And he knows that. She feels like she has to put up with poor behavior because she's not earning her own income and she becomes dependent upon the money he brings in. It is very often a control mechanism in relationships. So any man who is threatened by your dreams, your ideas about what you want to create or build or step into, please be aware that that is a man who simply wants you as a function in his life, not someone who deeply loves you. Because if someone really loves you, they get excited when you have a dream about something. They want to hear more. They want to know how they can support you, how they can be in this with you in any capacity. It doesn't have to be their dream. It doesn't have to be something they want to get overly involved in, but they want to be there to hear about it, to support it. Because when you love somebody and they light up and they are talking about something that they are wanting to bring into the world or do with their career, if you have someone that you're sharing that with and they contract or they shut down or they get angry or they start discouraging you or they don't support you, that is a massive red flag. There's no amount of excuses you can make about it. I assure you, it is a massive red flag. So even if you have children, young children with this person, and you are trying to justify in your mind, well, I can kind of see where he's coming from. He's got like a really busy job, and I am taking care of the kids right now. I want you to know and hear that ultimately, if you continue to stuff yourself into a corner, to not actualize your dreams, your passions, your innate gifts in this lifetime, you will ultimately grow resentful of him and the children. And that is a really, really slippery slope. I say it over and over again, but the unlived life of a parent is one of the greatest burdens for a child. So it is super important that you continue to live as an individual with your own autonomy in addition to being the partner and the mother. And if this partner really cares about you and wants to support you, you will be able to co-collaborate and imagine a way forward where you both get to step into your dreams and continue to build your careers while also having a family. So a really supportive, secure, divine, masculine man wants his wife to thrive. He doesn't want her to be a servant. Now, I also want to say there are so many women who love, love, love being at home. And that is wonderful. That is incredible. That is not what I am referring to. I am speaking specifically to the women who deeply yearn for more and have partners that have expressed that they don't believe it's a good idea that she do more with her life. So I want you to know that you're not really in a beautiful union if you are with someone like that. You are in a jail cell. You are being controlled. It is modern day slavery. And I say that very matter of fact because any relationship where someone is trying to control someone, especially when it comes to their passions and their dreams, you have to understand the fear that lives inside of that person, the fear that you will outgrow them, outpace them, out earn them, out many things them. So if you are in a relationship with a person who, when you bring your dreams and your desires, helps you to dig even deeper, asks you to go and dream even bigger, 10 times it, 100 times that dream, that passion, then you know you have somebody who really is an equal partner. The former relationship I was talking about is not equal partnership. It is a dictatorship where someone is controlling you and telling you what choices you can or cannot make. Nothing beautiful is ever built from those kinds of relationships. So if you are with someone who is wildly excited and supportive of you and curious to how they can help you with this, and help you sometimes is even just simply listening to you, then you know you have a beautiful divine union of equality. And there's nothing more beautiful than being with a partner who gets so excited to watch you soar, who gets so excited to hear about your dreams. When men don't, it's often because they feel how small they are, and your success, your excitement threatens the relationship, because that feeling of like, oh my gosh, she's going to go out into the world and she's going to discover more, and she's going to start meeting new people, and she's going to start earning her own money. And what if she looks back over her shoulder and realizes I'm actually not that much after all for her? Or, oh my gosh, if she does this, she's going to grow and expand. And I'm terrified of growth. And I don't want that. I just like to stay really, stuck in the ways that I've always been living. And I don't want her to expand or surpass me. So I'm just going to have her stay here and stay really small and stay in the confines of our home and continue doing the things that I expect from her. So I heard a statistic recently that only about, and this sounds high to me, I don't even know if I believe this one, that only about 30% of men are ever involved in any kind of self-development. More often than not, they steer away from it and oftentimes stay kind of the same for the good majority of their lives. Now, if you are with a man who is not doing any growth, any self-development, has been completely stagnant, then understand you too will be stagnant right alongside of him. It's going to require you really creating change for yourself if that's something you are interested in. But I don't want women to stay in relationships where they feel like they have to betray a part of themselves simply to maintain the relationship. That is not a relationship. That is a prison. Please hear that. You are not in a relationship if you are with someone who is dictating to you what you can and cannot do, if you can or cannot follow your dreams. You're also not in a beautiful union if you have dreams and desires and all these exciting things that you want to bring into the world, and you're sharing it with your partner, and your partner says, well, good luck figuring that out. I hope it works out for you. If you have someone of that energy, you don't have a divine union. You have someone who is hoping that you feel overwhelmed by it, possibly end up deciding not to even walk it out because you don't even know where to begin. Again, anyone who's not coming up right next to you and excited for you and supporting you, you don't really have a partnership. You're being controlled. It's really important someone finally speaks the truth to women, and you can guarantee, you can believe that I will always, always do that. It is so important to me to lay that out. After 51 years of lived experience, 28 years of my own marriage, and 25 years in this profession of working with women, I can tell you that those relationships never create joy and true happiness. And often I've seen women stay with men like that. And then if I catch up with them or hear from them years later, they have almost freeze framed in time. Nothing's changed for them. They're still as miserable. They're still as stuck. They still have the exact same complaints. And it's so sad to see how they are just continuing to waste their lives for nothing, for someone who could really care less about what it is that they so want in their life. And I know people want to make it more complex and they want to make it so much more nuanced than that. And I'll tell you, it's actually really not. Those are just your limited beliefs. Those are your excuses that creep in, the belief that there is no one else out there in the world. And so you will make all the excuses to stay. I have heard the laundry list of excuses from women, why they can't start their business, why they can't go back to work. It is mind blowing, the excuses women make. And I know that it is because they're not fully ready. When you become fully ready, there's nothing that will stop you from creating wealth or money or a business or going back to a dream or a passion that you put on the shelf or getting into a field that you've always been super passionate about. The kinds of men who support those women in their dreams are incredible partners to build a life with. That's true partnership. That is what I define as the power couple. I would absolutely, without a doubt, describe my husband and myself as an ultimate power couple. And it is because over these 28 years, I've known him for almost 30 years. We've been married for 28. We have always supported one another's dreams. When we met on an airplane, one of the very first questions he asked me is, what is your big dream? What do you want to do with your life? And I shared with him, well, I'm on this flight right now because I am going to look at graduate schools and I am applying to get my doctorate in clinical psychology. I'm going to be finishing up my undergrad, and I want to be a clinical psychologist. I want to be one of the best. I want to write books. I want to speak around the world. And I knew then that that was what I wanted to do. And when I asked him about his big dream, he said, I want to be a CEO of a major medical company. And he's done that 2 times over already. And so we knew from the start that careers, dreams, aspirations were important for both of us. And it is something that we have kept in really the strategy of the life we have built together, knowing how important it was for each of us and being able to support one another. And that also meant at times it not being ideal for each other. Sometimes I had to sacrifice many things for him to do the things he needed to do in his career. For example, there were times where it was not ideal for me and my work for us to move across the country for his job, because then I was going to have to start things all over again and build a clientele all over again. But we did that. And we are at a place and a space over the last couple of years where he has tried to plan surprises for me and do things that he loves doing. And I've had to say to him, you're going to have to cancel that. I can't do that. I have a speaking engagement then, or I'm going to be out of town then, or I have this retreat that I'm running. And there are many ways in which he has had to change and contour certain ways of functioning so that he could support my dreams and meet me in all the ways for so many years that I was meeting him, so that his career could blossom and grow. And we do that really beautifully. It's one of the things I'm the most proud of, actually, in regards to our life together. We have a very big and very busy and very involved life, not just with our careers, but also in community and with our children, our young adult children. We are very family focused, and all of that means that we are pulled in many, many different directions. And there are many things that have to go on the back burner, things that we say no to, because we always prioritize our careers and our family time. So it means that there are other things that don't necessarily get put into the equation, or they do at some point, and we have to get really creative in how we support each other. But we are incredibly, deeply, profoundly committed to supporting each other's careers, and knowing that there are going to be times where it is less than ideal, that there's going to be a vacation where more often than not, both of us are going to have to take a few hours a day to attend to our business, because it feels almost impossible to go off grid completely, especially for me as an entrepreneur. To completely check out of business for a week would seem impossible, and not even something I'm interested in doing at this point, because I so love my business. It's an extension of me. It's my life's work. So being with a partner who, even on vacation, supports the fact that I am going to have to spend a certain amount of the morning before we come together and really get into our vacation plans, it takes a special kind of a person to not be so dependent, so needy, so jealous even of that time that we need to give to our individual businesses. And we are able to strike this beautiful balance because we are also really good at communicating about those things. And we're always sitting down on Sundays and looking at, okay, what does this next week look like for you? What does it look like for me? What kind of hours are you working? And we are also forecasting weeks out, who's traveling, who's going to be where, what's going on with our schedules individually. And is there any way where one of us could maybe join the other on a business event or trip and then see each other for the extended weekend? So we really try to optimize the way we do this life so that we can infuse fun around all corners. And it's so enjoyable being with a partner who really supports you because we get to talk so much about business. And we are each other's confidants. We come to each other around so many issues business related and really seek each other's feedback. Sometimes we just want the other person to witness what's going on for us. And we are constantly supporting and helping each other, even when it comes to sleep. You know, when you think about two people who are running at a very high level and working a lot of hours and have to take a lot of their own personal capacity to pour into their business, we have to even get very creative about how we sleep. Sometimes it means we have to sleep in a separate room because one person has to be up really, really early and the other person has something that they have that's maybe a little bit more stressful and is impacting their ability to relax and sleep easily. And so if one of us feels like we're going to be restless, we'll sleep in the guest room so that the other one can get a good night's sleep. But I should admit, because he may hear this episode, I always sleep in our bedroom. And he's so sweet. He's the one who always goes to the guest room. So we are even willing to look at how can we get super creative and making sure we are supporting each other and each other's success. And then it just makes the moments when we do come together and really put our business aside so enjoyable because we both feel seen. We both feel held. We both feel celebrated. We both know that no matter what comes up, we will always figure it out. We've always got each other's backs in this journey together. And that is what a divine masculine man looks like. Maybe I'll be able to get him on one of these podcast episodes here and have him share for himself. But I know he would agree with every single statement, every word I've just said. But that is what being with a beautiful, supportive man gets to look like. And he is so excited for all of my success. He's so excited for all of my wins. He's so excited for every iteration of my business. He is one of my biggest cheerleaders, biggest supporters, biggest confidants, and is there on the days that feel not so easy to also receive my confusion, my roadblocks, my big decisions that have to be made. And so I just want you to hear and know that it is possible. But here's the thing. If you are in the belief that there are not divine masculine men out there, there are not going to be men who are comfortable with your success, with your power, with your business, with your opinions, whatever it is, then you won't be able to attract him. So what has to happen is you have to already start building the belief that beautiful, strong, divine masculine men who want to support very successful women exist. And you then, in that energy, get to go into the world with that belief so that you can then be an energetic match to attract those kind of men. Any man that asks you to tone it down, whether it's in your opinion, the way that you dress, the way that you walk into a room, the kinds of business you run, anything about you, when he's asking you to tone it down, you have to consider, is this someone who I'm actually a match for? Because this is a part of who I am. And if I change this thing, what is he going to expect me to change in 6 months and next year? And when does this end? Because I assure you, there is many perfect matches for you out there who will love the way you are in your power, in your success, in your opinions that you hold, in the way that you carry your body into a room. There is more than one perfect match for you out there. So, ladies, I really want you to hear the power of this message. Any man who is asking you to not step into your dreams, who is trying to hold you back in your career, please know you are not in a relationship. As much as you may try to convince yourself that you are, you're in a prison. And nothing will change until you reach around, unlock yourself, let yourself out, and create boundaries for how you will move if you stay in this relationship, what is allowed, what is expected, and start walking in the direction of your dreams. And if this person really does love you, they will make a way to change how they perceive this, and that gets to be beautiful too, or they will fall away, and that is also a gift, because ultimately they would have held you back from your one and only life. So please, I am urging you to stop being in this limited mindset around what kinds of men you can attract. I know many successful women. Pretty much all of my close friends are very successful women. And the men they are with love their power, love their success, support them so much. Because imagine a woman who is successful, a woman who is in her power, a woman who has agency over herself and her voice. Imagine how she is able to support the man in her life. Imagine how she's able to support her children, her family members. A woman like that elevates everybody. And it also gets to be for his greater good as well.